Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Boozer here. Hopefully you guys are having a good start to the week. We got some pretty big news today from Plarium. They dropped the fusion announcement on us. In this video, we're going to go over the kit. We're going to go over where I think it's going to be useful, and we're going to go over how it stacks up to current existing champions and whether this fusion is actually going to be worth it. So stick around for all that. Alright, we're going to be doing some light reading here, but this is the fusion that is announced to us. Bambus Fourleaf, a panda. Super nice. Looks like Po from Kung Fu Panda, of course. We have a Skinwalker, legendary support champion. Skinwalker is not heavily represented for legendaries, so having another legendary for Skinwalker is pretty good, at least my opinion. But yeah, so magic support. Let's go over his kit real quick here. His A1. Actually, we can't go. Yeah, it's a lot to read, but let's go over it. Let's go over here so that we don't miss anything. But it's A1. It's a single hit, one enemy, 50% chance to place the big decrease speed. That's good. It's still good in some areas. Obviously, like Fire Knight can still apply decreased speed on him. It doesn't stack up too well against. I guess it's a 75% chance to land it once fully booked, which is similar to like Stag Knight. Stag Knight has a two hitter 50% each, which is basically the same percentage except a double hit. So it's on par. But it has conditional effect here where if you target an enemy with 2 or more debuffs, it becomes an AoE, which is vastly more important. So the best AoE decrease speed in the game is actually Mother Cybele, in my opinion. It has the AoE big decrease speed, 50% chance, and it has a turn meter fill. There are some champions with just this top part, the 50% with the big decrease speed against all enemies. White Dryania, Theodore, Krisk, they all have it on their A1s. But Mother Cybele has this extra turn meter fill, which is really nice. Of course, she's like super book hungry. But yeah, she's one of the best A1 decrease speed area effects anyways. But how does Bambus stack up against that? So Bambus is 65% chance to land on all enemies. So that's a higher percentage base chance, higher base chance than Mother Cybele, for example. It is conditional. So it's not as good because it is conditional. So it's probably around, it's still a good A1 in my opinion. He places a sleep on himself at the end of the turn, so it can't be blocked or resisted, but he already attacked, so he already performed his move. Not a huge deal being asleep after he already performed his move, so we'll move on. That's kind of the theme with this guy. He puts himself to sleep a lot. So moving on, Grove Tender is A2. He attacks all enemies. Before attacking, he places a shield on all allies. It's equal to 30% of their max HP, so that's not, it's not based on his own max HP, which is, obviously the better version, for 2 turns, and then increases the duration of that shield. So that's 3 turns. That's 3-turn shield on your whole team. That's really good. And then after attacking, has a 100% chance to decrease the duration of all buffs on the enemy. So even if it's a weak hit, so it decreases the buff, increases your own buffs, and then it has like a small shield increase based on the amount of duration reductions that it does. That's not a big part of it, but the big part of it is the 3-turn shield on your whole team, which is great for survivability, as well as a kind of buff reduction on your opponent, which is obviously good as well, but not like an insanely strong ability overall, but it's still a good ability. And then of course he places a sleep on himself at the end of it, so it's kind of interesting. So far we're at 8 books. This move is a 4-turn cooldown. Moving on, we got Dream Sight, another 4-turn cooldown. You target one enemy, then you buff your team with increased accuracy, increased attack. Then you can place 100% chance and enfeeble. So this is the first time ever enfeeble on a target enemy. You can't put it on bosses, so this is strictly wave based or PvP content. But basically, you fully control that champion. Enfeeble basically means they can only weak hit. So if you place this on a nuker, you basically shut them down. And then it also places decreased accuracy on the whole enemy team. So you're placing increased accuracy on yourself, decreased accuracy on their whole team, and then you're also placing increased attack. So there's not too many champions in the whole game that actually have this kind of combo where you can go increase accuracy, increase attack, and you will find that this is sometimes useful to have. So the only champion that I know of is Yoshi the Drunkard. He places increased attack, increased accuracy on one move. So this is really important for like champions like with bombs. With bombs is very important, although obviously bombs are not really in the meta, but bombs are really important to have increased accuracy and then obviously increased attack to boost the bomb damage. So that's one application where you could use it. I'm trying to think if there's another application. I can't really think of anything right now. Let me know in the comments below if you guys can think of where increased accuracy and increased attack is like crucial. Obviously these are really nice buffs. Increased attack often gets missed in like Hydra, and increased accuracy will probably get missed in Hydra too. So these are good buffs for like Hydra team buffing and stuff, but the enfeeble part of it is not going to be too relevant. It does have decreased accuracy, which is obviously very good against Hydra too, to stop incoming debuffs on yourself. And then Bambus will put himself to sleep after this move, but the move's already performed, so he can go to sleep. It's fine. So why is this relevant, this sleep stuff? So he has a passive. He has an active and a passive skill for his passive. His passive ability is he has a 50% chance of transferring any debuff placed on an ally back to this champion when they are under sleep. So it doesn't cleanse your team of debuffs. It only protects your team from getting debuffs. It has a chance to protect, 50% chance. So if they get like decreased defense, there's a 50% chance that it's going to land on Bambus. I think this is like overall. And then at the start of his turn, he cleanses. He will cleanse the debuffs from himself. I don't know if that means if he has woken up, he will remove the debuffs. I assume no. So I assume he needs to fully cycle back to his turn to wake up to cleanse the debuffs that are applied to him. So it's a little bit wonky. There's a lot of things that need to line up for it to be useful. But I mean, overall, I don't put too much stock into the passive part of it. And then the active part of it is it transfers all those debuffs from this champion to the enemy with the highest resistance if the sleep debuff was removed by this champion's passive skill, which means they have to wake up. So when he wakes up, when he takes a turn and wakes up, all those debuffs will go to your opponent with the highest resistance. And then this effect can't be resisted. It's kind of cool, but honestly, I think this passive, like you can just, if you totally just don't even think about this passive, his kit is actually very fine. Increased accuracy, increased attack, decreased accuracy, all very good. 4-turn cooldown is not the best, and then 4-turn cooldown on this. That's honestly my biggest knock against this, is that he does have 4-turn cooldowns on his abilities, and I think that holds him back the most. But he does have an A1 AoE decrease speed, 65%, which is quite strong. Conditional, but still strong. And then he has the shield, extension of shield, reduction of buffs on your enemy. It's good. Team shield's good. And then his buffs, right? Increase accuracy, increase attack, and then decrease accuracy as well. So I think if you're thinking strictly for like Hydra, he's very serviceable. He comes with an aura, HP in all battles. Not super good, but very good, like serviceable. Like his kit's totally good for Hydra. And if he ever pulls off the Sleeping Sage passive, his active and passive abilities, like that's great. That's just icing on the cake, to be honest. But it's unlikely that he will be able to trigger some of these effects off. Personally, I think building him fast probably makes the most sense. He will need accuracy to place some of these debuffs, obviously. And if you use him in PvP, he will risk getting sheeped himself. But something like this enfeeble ability is actually strong enough to be used in PvP. Maybe. I doubt it. But you never know. But I doubt it. So, as a strictly Hydra champion, he's serviceable. He's serviceable. I don't think he's going to be insane or anything like that, but he's definitely serviceable. I think this passive is more or less useless, but it's possible. So I think personally I would build him fast, so he has the ability to cycle back to his turn, so he can wakes up and then he, can transfer his debuffs or do his fancy stuff. Being asleep after every attack, it's not the end of the world. It will affect things like ally attack and stuff. He won't attack because he's asleep. But generally it's not too bad of a thing. And if he's woken up by a Hydra, that's not a big deal. It just breaks his passive. So I would just make him fast, high accuracy, and then just go from there. Good HP or whatever, good survivability. But yeah, anyways, that's just my initial thoughts on the champion. I think he's decent. It's going to be a traditional fusion, so it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be collecting rares, fusing them into epics, and then fusing those epics into this legendary. You can't save it, so you can't save it for later time. You have to build him before the fusion ends. So make sure you guys keep that in mind. Yeah, can't wait to see the schedule. We'll go over that when it comes, and I'll let you know what my plan is. But I'm definitely going to go for him. Just another fusion to add to the kind of collection, I guess. But for most people, I think he might not be that relevant or that great. But I think he's probably an above average champion. But yeah, anyways, just my initial thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.